the clinical aspects of what we actually see. So I'm a neurologist and see patients with FARS clinically. So what happens in FARS? So how do we see these patients that come to us? What are the main presenting features? So they can be broadly divided into neurological, movement disorders, and psychiatric features, but I'll summarize the neurological features first. So they could be just movement disorders, which is the commonest presentation. It could be Parkinsonism, tremor, gait problems. There could be seizures. That was the first case that Francesca described. There could be speech and swallowing problems. And there are some non-specific features but they are associated with FARS disease, like headaches and TIA-like episodes, which we doubt are related directly to the condition, but they are associated in terms of the statistical prevalence. In terms of the movement disorders, the commonest things that people will come to us will be slowness, tremor, and rigidity, which is what we call Parkinsonism. So just to explain that term, so this is something that looks like somebody's got Parkinson's disease, but it is due to another cause, and it's not due to Parkinson's disease, in this case, particularly due to FARS. They will look quite a lot like Parkinson's. Their tremors might look very similar to Parkinson's disease. The stiffness in their body, which we call rigidity, is also quite similar, but there have been descriptions of more stiffness in the trunk compared to the limbs in some people. And the slowness is quite generalized, which is the bradykinesia, which is the slowness of movement, which is something that we see in Parkinson's disease, but much more severe in people with FARS. So this is the Parkinsonism spectrum, which is one of the commonest presentations of FARS to our clinics. Then there is a hyperkinetic spectrum, which is having excessive movements. So one is less movements and the other is excessive movements. In this, people can get tremor, chorea, which is dancing movements, involuntary movements. They can have cerebellar signs, which is in coordination, sort of getting a tremor when getting to the target or shaking. And there's dyskinesias, which is involuntary movements that are quite generalized in some people. And then, of course, along with the Parkinsonism, some people may not have all the other signs, but just have gait problems and imbalance and falls. So these are the usual things that lead to the detection of FARS in patients that we see. There's also a lot of other features that are seen with FARS in clinical presentations. Not everybody will have all of these features, so it's very important to understand that if you do not have these features, does not mean that you are going to have them. Everybody is slightly different, so you might, if you've got FARS or if someone you know has FARS, does not necessarily mean that they will all get these features, but they're commonly seen. So depression, anxiety, cognitive and intellectual impairment, and sometimes psychosis and dementia. So everybody is different. What we've understood is that they can present either with predominantly psychiatric cognitive features, movement disorders, or neurological features such as seizures and speech and swallowing problems. So depending on their main